night was supposed to be the fairy tale return of Angel Reese, the moment Chicago fans had been teased about for weeks. But instead of a queen's welcome, what actually unfolded was one of the most humiliating comebacks in recent WNBA history, because when she stepped back on the court expecting thunderous applause and flashing cameras, she was met with rows of empty chairs, muted energy, and a crowd that barely reached 6,000 people in an arena built for nearly 10,000. And that harsh reality hit harder than any defender ever could, because the player who once bragged about being the reason arenas sold out couldn't even pull enough fans to fill 3/4 of the seats. And while the hype machine had promised us an epic Beyoncé-style return with scalpers flipping tickets outside, what we really got looked more like a Tuesday night high school scrimmage. But the embarrassment didn't stop there, because her actual performance turned the silence into laughter as the Chicago Sky not only lost, but watched their supposed star get blocked again and again, cementing her reputation as the most blocked player in the WNBA. And instead of walking off with her head held high, she walked off with her brand exposed, her arrogance shattered, and fans loudly asking if Angel Reese is really built for this league or just built for Instagram highlights. Because last night, the mask finally slipped. But let's break it down. This wasn't just about missing a few fans or dropping a game to the Seattle Storm. No, this was about Angel Reese's entire reputation crashing and burning in front of the people who once adored her. This wasn't a comeback. It was more like a slow-motion train wreck that you just couldn't look away from. You see, Reese had built this narrative around herself, this self-proclaimed double-double queen who could do no wrong, but last night, all those self-inflicted titles fell apart. The crowd wasn't there for her, the fans weren't there for her, and now even her own team seemed to be questioning whether her individual hype was worth the headache. You could see it in the way her teammates were forced to adjust their game to accommodate her inflated ego, trying to keep the flow going, while Reese played a different game entirely, one where everything revolved around her brand. And when the final whistle blew and the Storm walked away with an easy victory, it wasn't just a loss on the scoreboard, it was a loss for the entire WNBA community who had hoped for more. Angel Reese's return was supposed to elevate the game, but all it did was bring everything crashing down. Now, we need to talk about the self-inflicted delusion that Angel Reese was spinning. Just a few months ago, she had the audacity to claim that she was the reason for packed arenas. She argued that fans were flocking to the games just to watch her, to see the Chi Barbie work her magic on the court. But let's face it, the truth is a lot less glamorous. Sure, the arena looked full, but there was a reason for that. It wasn't because of her star power. No, the seats were filled because the tickets were priced so cheaply that anyone could afford them. This wasn't the kind of sellout we're used to seeing in sports, where the price of admission reflects the demand. This was an artificial crowd built on discount prices, and the moment those fans got what they wanted, the chance to see a star play, they just didn't come back. Reese tried to take credit for all of it, claiming that she was the reason for the hype. But when she finally returned, the cold, hard truth smacked her right in the face. The fans were not there for her. That wasn't just a wake-up call, it was a full-blown reality check. And here's where it gets even more absurd. When Angel Reese finally made her comeback, she strutted onto the court like she was about to perform in front of a packed stadium. But instead of the roar of adoring fans, what greeted her was the deafening silence of nearly empty seats. It was supposed to be a monumental moment, the return of the self-proclaimed savior of the WNBA, the face of Chicago, the one who promised to bring the crowds back. But what did she actually bring? A crowd that was barely half full and a performance that was anything but spectacular. The Wintrust Arena, with its 9,500 capacity, had just over 6,700 people in attendance. That's roughly 3,000 empty seats staring back at her, mocking her grand comeback. And the fans that did show up weren't there to worship her, they were there to watch the game. Angel Reese's arrogance and self-delusion turned what should have been a triumphant moment into a bitter reminder that the WNBA doesn't revolve around her. The real heartbreak here wasn't just the half-empty stands. It was watching someone who truly believed they were the face of the league realize that the fans weren't fooled anymore. But even when the arena was barely half full, and the fans weren't exactly thrilled to see her, Angel Reese couldn't accept the truth. She convinced herself that she was still the driving force behind the Chicago Sky's success, that her return would spark the energy of a championship-caliber team. Reality, however, disagreed. Instead of dominating the floor, Reese struggled, looking out of sync with the team and failing to make the impact she had once hyped up. The most telling moment? Her performance against the Seattle Storm, a crushing 94-88 loss that exposed just how out of place she truly was. The game wasn't about a return to glory, it was a lesson in humility. Her shooting percentage, while decent, couldn't hide the fact that she was the most blocked player in the WNBA. Her layups were clanked, her confidence overblown, and the Storm took full advantage, walking out of Wintrust Arena with an easy victory. No heroic comeback, no spectacular plays, just another reminder that Angel Reese's hype far exceeds her actual on-court impact. As if things couldn't get worse for Angel Reese, it became glaringly obvious that her return wasn't just about her personal performance, it was about the entire team's dynamic. Reese, for all her self-proclaimed greatness, has become a liability to the Chicago Sky. The moment she stepped back on the court, the chemistry that had been building with her teammates, especially Camila Cardoso, immediately took a hit. Cardoso, who had been playing at an elevated level in Reese's absence, saw her numbers drop the instant Angel returned. It was like Reese's ego and presence were too much for the team to handle. Instead of being a leader, Reese turned into a distraction, pulling focus away from the team and back to her inflated sense of self-importance. This isn't leadership. This is selfishness disguised as confidence. A true leader elevates their teammates, but when Reese is around, it's as if she drags everyone else down with her. And for fans who thought her return would spark a new chapter for the Sky, this was just another reminder that Reese is more about the individual spotlight than the team's success. But let's not sugarcoat it, Angel Reese isn't fooling anyone anymore. Her disappearing acts, her back injury excuses, her constant need for the spotlight instead of the basketball court, it's all become part of a pattern that fans are now fully aware of. And frankly, they're fed up. Every time things don't go her way, every time the team struggles, Reese takes the easy way out, dropping out of the picture with some conveniently timed injury or personal issue. It's not a coincidence anymore, it's who she's become. Fans are no longer buying the act. They see right through the excuses, and they're tired of the same old story. And what's even worse, Angel Reese has started to believe her own hype, thinking that her presence alone should carry the team to victory. But last night, when she couldn't even get her own team fired up, it was crystal clear that this star has been living in a fantasy world. The real story here is that Reese has failed to back up her words with actions, and now it's not just the fans who are disappointed, it's her teammates too. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Angel Reese's branding. It's clear she's more interested in building her image than building a career. Every move she makes, from her flashy Instagram posts to her supposed comeback moments, seems designed to keep her name in the media, not to improve her game. Reese is playing for the likes, the followers, and the endorsement deals, not for the team or for basketball itself. It's obvious when you watch her, the game isn't her priority, her persona is. In fact, she's doing everything she can to build a brand that's bigger than the sport, and that's fine, but the problem is she's trying to sell herself as a superstar without backing it up with results. And let's talk about the shoe deal fantasy. Reese has publicly stated that she wants to launch her own signature shoe, comparing herself to Michael Jordan. Are we serious right now? A player who can't even get her team to a respectable level of success wants to compare herself to one of the greatest athletes of all time? Jordan built his empire through unparalleled talent, commitment, and winning championships. Angel Reese, she's building hers on Instagram captions and stage moments. Let's get real. Her signature shoe is more likely to end up on clearance racks than the feet of WNBA fans. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Angel Reese's branding. It's clear she's more interested in building her image than building a career. Every move she makes, from her flashy Instagram posts to her supposed comeback moments, seems designed to keep her name in the media, not to improve her game. Reese is playing for the likes, the followers, and the endorsement deals, not for the team or for basketball itself. It's obvious when you watch her, the game isn't her priority, her persona is. In fact, she's doing everything she can to build a brand that's bigger than the sport, and that's fine, but the problem is she's trying to sell herself as a superstar without backing it up with results. And let's talk about the shoe deal fantasy. Reese has publicly stated that she wants to launch her own signature shoe, comparing herself to Michael Jordan. Are we serious right now? A player who can't even get her team to a respectable level of success wants to compare herself to one of the greatest athletes of all time? Jordan built his empire through unparalleled talent, commitment, and winning championships. Angel Reese, she's building hers on Instagram captions and stage moments. Let's get real. Her signature shoe is more likely to end up on clearance racks than the feet of WNBA fans. In the end, the hype surrounding Angel Reese has fizzled out. She might have been the star of yesterday's show, but today, fans are moving on. The spotlight she craved, it's fading fast. As for the Chicago Sky, they deserve better than a player who's more focused on building a personal brand than building a championship team. So, what's next for Angel Reese? Well, she might want to check herself before her brand becomes nothing more than a memory, just another overhyped moment in a league that demands more than flashy headlines. It's time for her to step up or step aside. The WNBA deserves better.